Wrong.
Totally fucking wrong.
Wrong. What?
That's disgusting.
Wrong.
That's wrong.
Wrong.
You guys are like total fucking idiots.
The wrong guys.
Like, if I had to make 2 breakfasts every morning,
So,
fuck, man, 3 even, because if you have a kid, you have to have a kid with someone.
I guess. Yeah.
I guess you could adopt 2, but you know what I'm.
Are you allowed? Okay. Are you allowed to adopt a kid without a partner? Is that a thing they frown upon?
I don't know.
It's
I
not
have
something.
to imagine the vetting process is pretty intense.
It's like, can you be a single person?
I don't think they just hand out orphans. Is basically what I'm saying.
But how could they not? There's so
Because-
fucking many of them.
I know, but I have to, and again, I have to imagine that orphanages are fairly well run like places, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Where there's, room and board and there's like structure and there's classes and the kids learn and they're like in a structured environment. They're not just going to hand out kids to
Hang on.
whoever comes knocking at the door and be like, yeah, I want a kid.
Just hang on.
Be like, all right, well, just here are all the kids that we have.
What are you imagining when you say orphanage?
Like the movies.
Okay, because I don't know if those actually exist. Is that like a real thing? Aren't like all didn't the foster system basically take over the orphanage system?
I guess orphanages must be a dated term. So
I don't know, but
maybe-
like, are there
maybe
still?
foster system is what I'm actually.
Which is just like families that take kids in, I think, or like people
But like, where do they take the kids in from?
situations.
Like, say, and this for sure happens,
Sure.
where someone has a kid and they just drop it off somewhere. They just leave it.
Right, like at
You know
the
what I
fire
mean?
station
Or
kind of thing.
At a hospital, they'll just have a kid at home or somewhere.
Yeah, there's certain places.
Wrap it up in a blanket and just leave it, and then you have no idea where the fuck the kid is from.
Right.
Where does that kid go?
In like they say in like the system,
Right.
Which is
there's
obviously-
a foster care system of some sort.
it's like social workers and
Yeah.
judges
so
and
I
shit.
have to imagine there are buildings
Okay,
where kids who are abandoned or have their parents pass away
right.
and are not in a position to take care of themselves.
Okay, yeah.
They have to have a place to go.
Yeah,
That's
that makes
probably
sense.
funded by taxpayers.
And
Right?
so okay, so there's an orphanage
Social services.
or
we'll
whatever
call it.
this building. Let's, for lack of a better term,
Foster care.
orphanage.
Yeah.
It works if this building exists,
Which
that
may
you're
be
describing.
like an antiquated term.
No, but I don't think so. I can't see how it would be. I don't know. Whatever. Either way. So orphanage.
You know how people are these days.
So so it's a building full of kids, and then you want
Side note.
Yeah.
What would, okay, you know how there's all these like PC words to describe, you know how words evolve over time?
Sure.
Like you can't say,
There's a Carlin bit there for sure. Yeah.
Carlin's for sure done a bit about this, but you can't say certain words and I'm not actually, like a midget, for example.
Oh yeah.
Like it's dwarf, I think now?
Yeah. Or
Like-
little person.
Or little person. So
Yeah.
the evolution of words, right? And people say like, actually the word midget is.
Right.
What would a different word for orphan be?
It would be some
Like a
sort
modern-
like what's
like
the
a- oh, you
progressive
can't-
word
like,
for an orphan? You mean?
can't say the word orphan anymore.
He's like he's like differently parented.
Alternatively parented.
Or he's like
Yeah.
he's parent capable.
Parent capable. Oh my god. Yeah, something like that. Anyway, we'll come back to that.
Yeah,
'Cause I
so
don't think
all these differently parented children
yes.
are in this one building.
Yeah.
And then you as a single I presume it takes a lot of money. So you have to be a successful person.
That's what I was saying earlier. Is
Yeah.
I don't think you can just I don't think if I wanted to adopt a kid,
You can't just
I couldn't
walk
just
in
go to an orphanage and be like, "Hey, I want to leave with a kid today."
and you can't and I like
know
this
what I mean?
gonna sound super
I'd be like,
insensitive,
well, we need to see everything. We need to see
Right.
where you live.
there's
We
a
need to
vetting
see the
process.
house.
That's what you're saying.
We need to see all of your bank records.
Right.
We need to talk to your boss.
Okay.
We need to make sure, I think there's like a very intense vetting process for people
Here's-
who want to adopt kids. Because if a kid is at an orphanage,
Yeah.
I think you probably get to a certain point or a certain age where you figure out that there's something that's maybe different. You know what I mean? Maybe not.
About yourself, you
But
mean?
I have to imagine that a kid who has no parents,
Right.
depending on the age they are, I guess, would have to be handled is a poor choice. Would have to be brought into an environment, like
Okay.
a home environment that is conducive to growth.
I see, like an extra sort of like caring, extra empathetic, just to like, because these kids have already like have abandonment issues, probably, likely.
If not abandonment issues, perhaps trauma. Like if you're if you're a 12-year-old kid and your parents die in a car accident, you're old enough to know what the fuck that means.
Right. And so you need like people who are like special
so you're
for
like,
that shit.
That is a full-on trauma,
right?
For a 12-year-old kid, and that cannot be good for like the development. Like that's not normal for a kid to go through, you know what I mean? Like so that will shatter a child.
Putting all that together, here's what I think is really fucked up is that so you have this vetting process. You have this like, you're a fucking, they're coming into your life. They're looking at your house. They're looking at your finances.
Yeah.
They're looking at your job. They're going to talk to everybody you've ever known. Mm-hmm. It's like more strict than, obviously it's more strict than like buying a gun. You know what I mean? Right. They want to make sure that you're not a fucking psychopath or a whatever, a kitty diddler or whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
So they want to make sure that you're like, you're going to be good for this kid. Mm-hmm. Why isn't that same approach taken to like just making a kid? Like, how come you can't go buy one, but you could just fucking make them?
You ever had sex?
Yeah.
Feels good.
It does.
Feels good.
Sure.
Sometimes you get carried away, I guess.
I know, but I mean, like, why isn't there like a permit system for having a kid?
Wrong. Totally fucking wrong.
Wrong. What? That's disgusting.
Wrong.
That's wrong.
You guys are like total fucking idiots.
The Wrong Guys.